Hello students, me Arpita Bhattacharya again. This particular video I have prepared for class standard 10 subject political science. You know that you are having a book political science which is named as the democratic politics. In this particular book, the first chapter, that is power sharing. Today's video is all about the chapter power sharing, though it's not possible for me to cover entire chapter within a lecture, but we will focus on some basic concept as well as the first case study, which is the Belgium. So we will start my class now. See, the first we learn the meaning of power sharing. Power sharing meaning the distribution of power between three organs of government, that is executive, legislature and judiciary, as well as sometimes between the tiers of the government. The main objective of power sharing is to facilitate in achieving the stability of political order as well as avoiding any kind of conflict. Before entering into the main topic, we need to learn that there are mostly two types of government visible in modern India. One is democratic government that we are having in our own country, other one is non-democratic country. Non-democratic countries are various type of, but the popularly is monarchical rule that is visible in few countries in the world. Another is autocratic or tyranny. Monarchical rule also came under autocratic rule. In Britain we find that constitutional monarchy. So there are democratic government and non-democratic government. Now the concept of power sharing is actually a political procedure of sharing power, and this can only be visible in democratic government. The process of power sharing is actually one of the important part of the constitution of a democratic country. In constitution, the entire procedure of sharing power is clearly mentioned. So that we learn today, the power sharing is normally seen in the democratic government, not in a non-democratic government. It is one of the major characteristics of democratic government that power sharing is present in the system or institution of government. In this particular chapter, the significance of power sharing has been explained to you by two case studies. These two case studies, one is the case of Belgium, another one is the case of Sri Lanka or Sinhala. So, by studying these two different case studies, we will actually understand the importance of power sharing. As we have already discussed, power sharing's major role is actually to resolve the conflict, and therefore we will first discuss the case of Belgium. So Belgium is a small country of Europe. It's surrounded by three major European countries. One is France, the other one is Netherlands, and the next one is Germany. So the political scenario of Belgium and utilization of power sharing method to resolve the conflict of Belgium is an ideal example of to understand the importance of power sharing. So first we will study the case of Belgium, and therefore we will discuss about the type of power sharing and the definition of different type of power sharing. And I have uploaded study material in my Google Classroom, and I have shared the code with you in my official group. I will ask you, whenever you see this particular video, I want you to have this study material with you. By comparing my video and study material, you will get to know about the case study of Belgium. You will get to know how power sharing helped Belgium to resolve its ethnic conflict. So when we start studying these two case study, one is of Belgium and Sri Lanka. First we need to know what are the similarities between Belgium and Sri Lanka. Why these two countries has been taken as a case study. Belgium and Sri Lanka have certain similarities. Both countries are very small in size. You know, the Belgium is actually almost equal in size of state Haryana, and having population 1 crore. which is actually less than the population of Haryana. A very small country, like a small state of India. And also Sri Lanka, you have seen in the map at the southern part of India, our southern neighboring country, Sri Lanka is also very small in size. It's actually smaller than the state UP. So these two countries, first similarity, that they are actually very small in size and having limited population. Second similarity, which actually drag these two countries in this comparison or case study and comparison, is that both these countries are having their very complex ethnic population. The ethnic composition of these two countries is very complex and therefore reason of ethnic tension. So, as in Belgium, we find that there are three language speaking people, that is the Dutch language speaking people. Dutch means the language of Netherlands. French language speaking people and German language speaking people. And in Sri Lanka, there are Indian Tamils, the Sri Lankan or Sinhala Tamils, and also the Sinhala Buddhist population. So these are the certain similarities between Belgium and Sri Lanka, that their ethnic diversity, their ethnic conflict, and they both are democratic country, they both are very small in size, and they both are having limited population. So it will help us to understand, to compare these two countries, if we came to know that what are the similarities they have. And the important similarity is that both are democratic country, but at certain stage both the countries faced common problem, that is the ethnic tension, means the political tension, social tension caused due to their ethnic diversity. So in my this video lecture, we actually going to focus on the condition of Belgium, and in my next video lecture we will discuss about the ethnic tension of Sri Lanka. Okay. In class 9, we have already came to know that diversity and related issues can be managed at its best in democracy. Democratic constitutions secure the fundamental rights of people, including the religious, ethnic, linguistic and gender minorities. In this respect, we will study the case of two democratic countries, that how did they deal with their ethnic diversity and minority issues. The first country is Belgium, a small country of West Europe surrounded by Netherlands, France and Germany. It has a population little over 1 crore. But the ethnic composition of this small country is very complex, because 59% of total population of Belgium speaking Dutch language. Dutch is the language of Netherlands. Another 40% of population of Belgium is speaking in French language, and rest 1% people are mostly speaking in German language. Now you may ask, what is ethnic composition? Because when I talk about ethnic composition, ethnicity is a term used in anthropology and any other stream of social science, including history and sociology. So first we need to know what is ethnic. The term ethnic related with ethnicity and ethnological, all are actually from the term ethnic. Ethnic and ethnicity, these two terms are need to be explained. So the term ethnic we use, actually the ethnic it is used for understanding a particular community. An ethnic group or ethnic community is a human population whose members identify with each other, usually on the basis of common genealogy or ancestry, sometimes with language, common history or even common culture. For example, Tamil people are ethnic community constructed on the basis of common language they speak. Hindus are ethnic community on the basis of the common religious belief and the culture they practice. It's very easy, when you actually talk about any particular community, either you talk about religious community or linguistic community or a cultural community, or they belong to a particular geographical area. So this one condition is there that actually help to create that community, and thus these communities are called ethnic. So we can see in the case of Belgium, there were three ethnic communities identified on the basis of their basis of the language they speak, and definitely the culture they practice. Those are French speaking people. They definitely have certain French culture, French cuisine, festivals, etiquette, even the home decor, the architecture. They follow the French culture and they speak in French language. At the same time, those are speaking Dutch language. They are the Dutch linguistic ethnic community, and definitely they practice certain culture of Netherlands. And same for the Germany, isn't it? If you speak in Assamese language, that is your ethnic language, Assamese, definitely you follow some certain culture of Assam. So that you have, I hope you understand the word ethnic means. Ethnic means a group. Those are actually constructed or identified with their common factor, either language or religion or culture, whatever. As Belgium is surrounded by three countries like Netherlands, France and Germany, the people of Belgium also share the ethnicity of those countries. French, Netherlands, Germany, that we have already said. Please see in your book, there a map is there, and in that the map of Belgium, where different colors are used to denote the different language speaking people and the area where they live. So I will ask you to please follow the map. Map is important over here. And therefore, the percentage of these linguistic communities in national population is referred as the ethnic composition. Very, very important. Yeah, here ethnic composition means the percentage of population consisting in whole national population. So if we ask you a question, describe the ethnic composition of Belgium, then you have to say that for the ethnic composition of Belgium is as follows. 59% people are Dutch speaking, 40% people are French speaking, and rest 1% people are mostly German speaking. That is the ethnic composition that we call. Okay. The next is the reason behind the ethnic tension in Belgium, rooted not only its ethnic diversity but also due to social and economical disparity. The French speaking people of Belgium consist 40% of total population, hence they are considered minority. But this French speaking minority community was rich and very powerful and influential, and therefore they enjoyed the benefit of economic growth, education, health facilities and many other benefits more than any other communities. Okay, it's very simple that those people are rich and highly educated, they definitely enjoy more privilege than others. Here, French speaking people were definitely 40%, and that means they are minority, but they enjoy the maximum benefit and facility of economic growth and other whatever things state are providing them compared to the Dutch and German speaking population. Obviously, this type of disparity created tension between the Dutch speaking and the French speaking communities of Belgium during 1950s and 60s. Students, you have to understand that when society is facing economical discrimination, if society is divided on the basis of economical status, where one community is privileged, another one is poor and disadvantaged, then it's very easy to create tension. This is there are two type of problems are there. One, that they are different, they are actually belong to different ethnic community. That one difference. Second is one is richer, one is poorer. So this type of social class division created ethnic tension in Belgium during 1950s and 60s. Now the question is, how did Belgium handle or tackle this type of minority issues and the ethnic tension? That is the thing. Now, but the government of Belgium handle these ethnic issues in a more responsible and democratic manner, and made an example for other countries with ethnic diversity. देखिए, Belgian government took the issue seriously, and they try to understand the reason behind this type of ethnic tension, and therefore they took certain measures so that they can resolve these ethnic issues, and successfully they tackled this ethnic problem. It became Belgium became a role model for other countries, all the other countries including India, and many other countries of Africa and Europe, where there are complex ethnic communities are living in the country, and they are also having similar type of tension, but they follow the model of Belgium. Belgium set up an example for others, that how can you actually resolve this type of problem. And thankfully, Belgium took the policy of power sharing. Power sharing is a political procedure by which you can share power within the three organ of government, that is judiciary, executive and legislature, or within the various tier of the government, central government, state government, or even panchayati system in India. So they have adopted the policy of power sharing so that the power and the rights of the people can be equally distributed. No one should feel deprived or discriminated. So how had they actually succeeded to achieve this thing? We will discuss now. Between 1970s and to 1993, Belgium's constitution was amended 4 times to secure the rights of the ethnic communities, and also to resolve disputes. Now we will discuss about the constitution provision of Belgium regarding ethnic issues. So now we will discuss what are the amendments they actually done in their constitution, so that the issue of ethnic problems can be sought out, and also how to establish the power sharing procedure, how to include the power sharing procedure in their government, so that no one feel deprived. Power sharing, actually distributing power, not to concentrate in one hand. If you practice power sharing in your political system, therefore no particular person or organization will be able to control the power. Therefore, if you practice power sharing, your government will never become autocratic, because no single person can hold entire power. Power is distributed from top to bottom, from union to provincial government, that is the vertically, and horizontally in the various organ of the government. So now we will discuss what are the constitutional amendment and provision created by Belgium to resolve the ethnic issues. Number 1, Constitution prescribes that the number of Dutch and French-speaking ministers shall be equal in the central government. Second, some special laws require to support the majority of member from each linguistic group. Thus, no single community can make decision unilaterally. Third is Brussels. Brussels is the capital of Belgium, and it has a separate government in which both communities, that is French and Dutch, they have equal representative. It doesn't matter that they are the majority, so they will have more representative, or the French are minority, so they have less representative. No, doesn't matter who is major or who is minor. The number of representative from these two community are equal in number in the government of Brussels, which is the capital of Belgium. Please remember, Brussels is the capital of Belgium. Apart from the central and the state government, there is a third type of government, that is called the community government, which is elected by the people of both Dutch and French community, and also by the German-speaking people. This government has power to regulate cultural, educational and language-related issues, which is actually the elements of ethnic community. You know that education, culture, language, these are the basic element of any ethnic group. So if any issue regarding this element occurred in the society, the community government will resolve the issue. So there is a separate set of government to deal with the cultural issue, deal with the minority issues had been set up. So these are the basic, you can say, the amendments and the basic provisions adopted by Belgian government to resolve the minority issue, and thankfully they have succeeded to resolve their issue. The Belgium model of power sharing may look very complicated, but it helped to avoid any kind of civic strife between the two major communities. You can see that, okay, there are three types of government. One is the general government for the country. One is a separate government for Brussels, the capital. Another type of government is the community government, which is for the ethnic and other cultural issues. Yes, they have done this thing. But by adopting this complex model, they actually succeeded to resolve their issues and made a great example for the others. And that is why when European Union was made and they required their headquarters, they chose Brussels. Why? Because Brussels have an ethnic composition, and they successfully resolved those ethnic issues and made an example to others. So therefore, European Union's leaders decided to choose Brussels as their headquarters. And definitely it's an honor, and it's a very big inspiration for other countries, those who are having the similar type of diversity issue, ethnic complexity, and this type of ethnic tension. Even India can also learn lesson from Brussels, because our country is also having a diverse cultural, religious, linguistic, ethnic communities.